The world was left utterly stunned when shocking reports emerged that Prince William, future King of the United Kingdom, was asked to leave the set of the popular American talk show The View after an unexpected and fiery clash with the show's hosts. What was supposed to be a diplomatic and light-hearted interview soon turned into an intense, uncomfortable encounter that neither the studio audience nor viewers at home saw coming. Prince William, known globally for his calm, dignified demeanor, arrived on set with the clear intention to promote environmental awareness campaigns and discuss the royal family's modern initiatives. However, the conversation veered dangerously off course when one of the show's co-hosts brought up the long-standing royal controversies, including issues surrounding Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and the British monarchy's role in modern society. Prince William's previously composed expression reportedly turned serious and strained as the questions became more invasive and personal, putting him visibly on edge before millions watching. Asterisk at the start of the show, the mood was cheerful and respectful. The co-hosts welcomed Prince William warmly, and there was light talk about his environmental charity work and mental health advocacy. However, tensions rose sharply when Sunny Hostin, one of the panelists known for asking tough and sometimes uncomfortable questions, pivoted the discussion to the royal family's recent public disputes. She asked the prince about his views on Prince Harry's revelations and the explosive interviews that shook the palace's image worldwide. Prince William maintained his royal decorum at first, answering carefully and diplomatically, emphasizing family unity and the importance of private resolution. But when Joy Behar pushed further, asking whether the royal family had mishandled Meghan Markle and whether race played a role in the palace's treatment of her, the atmosphere became thick with tension. William's polite responses began to falter as his face grew noticeably tight, his posture more rigid. Asterisk as the questions grew increasingly pointed, Prince William seemed to reach a breaking point. When Whoopi Goldberg directly asked him whether the monarchy was outdated and whether Britain truly needed a king in the 21st century, it appeared to strike a nerve. William's smile faded completely, and he firmly replied that the monarchy had been a stabilizing force for centuries and still played a vital role in public service and national unity. His tone shifted from calm and composed to defensive and sharp, surprising even the co-hosts who were used to handling difficult interviews. The audience, sensing the rising tension, became unusually quiet, their murmurs fading as they watched the drama unfold. Meanwhile, Meghan McCain reportedly whispered something sarcastic to Joy Behar, but it was picked up faintly by the microphones, adding another layer of discomfort to the situation. Prince William, visibly irritated by what he clearly considered disrespect, looked at the producers off camera as if signaling for the segment to wrap up early. Asterisk, it didn't end there. Sunny Hostin then boldly asked about the Commonwealth nations reconsidering their ties to the British crown, pointing out Jamaica and Barbados recently expressing desires to sever formal connections. This was the final spark that turned the interview into an all-out verbal clash. Prince William responded sharply that such decisions were up to sovereign nations and that Britain respected their independence. But he reminded the panel that the monarchy's role in global diplomacy and charity was far from symbolic. Joy Behar shot back, saying that young generations across the world viewed monarchies as irrelevant and that perhaps William's own future as king was uncertain if these sentiments kept spreading. This exchange seemed to deeply irritate the prince, who, for the first time in the interview, leaned forward, his voice firm, stating that the monarchy would continue adapting and serving regardless of critics. The room grew heavier as co-hosts exchanged glances, realizing this conversation was far off the intended friendly course. Asterisk. Things quickly escalated when Meghan McCain questioned the transparency of royal finances, implying that British taxpayers were tired of funding royal luxuries in a modern democratic world. At this point, Prince William's diplomatic restraint broke noticeably as he sharply defended the royal family's role in promoting tourism, economy, and culture, asserting that the institution returns far more in value to the public than it costs. His voice raised just enough to stun the live audience into silence. Whoopi Goldberg, trying to defuse the situation, awkwardly laughed and attempted to steer the topic back to his environmental causes. But William refused to let the financial accusations slide unanswered. The clash between tradition and modern scrutiny had boiled over, and Prince William's frustration was no longer hidden behind royal politeness. By now, producers backstage were seen scrambling, certain whether to cut to commercial or allow the segment to crash towards its unplanned conclusion. Asterisk. Then came the shocking moment that no one anticipated. After another direct question from Joy Behar about alleged racist attitudes within the palace, Prince William stood up from his chair, removed his microphone, and firmly but politely said he was done with the interview. His voice was calm but cold, stating, "I did not come here to be cross-examined or insulted on behalf of my family. I will not allow this disrespect." The stunned co-host sat speechless as William turned towards the exit, the audience gasping audibly. Meghan McCain whispered, "Well, that's a royal walkout," which was caught faintly by the cameras. Security and royal aides rushed towards him as producers immediately cut the broadcast feed, cutting the live transmission before the situation spiraled further. Social media exploded within minutes as hashtag Prince William walkout and hashtag royal clash started, trending worldwide on Twitter and Instagram. Asterisk backstage, reports claimed the tension remained high. Prince William reportedly spoke sternly with the producers, expressing his displeasure over the ambush-style questioning that deviated entirely from the agreed-upon topics. His royal aides were furious, accusing the show's staff of setting a trap for political controversy instead of sticking to charity and environmental issues as promised. Meanwhile, the hosts of The View huddled off camera, visibly shaken by the royal fallout they had just triggered. Whoopi Goldberg later was overheard saying that she regretted not stopping the line of questioning sooner before it exploded into global scandal. Joy Behar, on the other hand, stood by her comments, reportedly arguing that public figures like royals should be able to handle such scrutiny. The entire set descended into chaos as damage control became the immediate priority for both the show's producers and the prince's public relations team. Asterisk. The British royal palace responded quickly, releasing an official statement expressing disappointment over the disrespectful tone of the interview. They reaffirmed that the prince was invited under the premise of discussing environmental initiatives and charitable efforts, not as a platform for political or family controversy. Meanwhile, ABC, the network airing The View, released their own statement defending journalistic freedom and the right to ask hard-hitting questions to public figures. The conflicting statements only fueled the media frenzy, with news outlets around the world covering the dramatic clash extensively. Morning talk shows, tabloids, and online bloggers debated endlessly over who was right, those defending the prince's dignity or those praising the host's boldness and holding him accountable. Royal experts chimed in, warning that this incident might deter future royal appearances on American media platforms for years to come. Asterisk prominent figures on both sides of the Atlantic weighed in. British politicians criticized the American media's treatment of the heir to the throne, calling it undignified and disrespectful. On the other hand, American commentators defended The View, arguing that no one, not even royalty, should be immune from tough questions in a democracy. Twitter became a battleground of opinions, with hashtag Team William and hashtag Team The View battling for dominance. Meanwhile, the prince's upcoming public engagements were thrown into uncertainty as his press team scrambled to manage the fallout. Rumors spread that several planned interviews and appearances in the U.S. had been quietly canceled in the wake of the controversy. The tension between the monarchy's tradition of controlled, respectful interviews and modern media's insistence on blunt, unfiltered questioning had reached a breaking point for the world to see. As the dust begins to settle, questions remain about the long-term impact of this unprecedented royal media clash. Will Prince William ever appear on American daytime television again? Will the royal family tighten its already cautious media strategy to prevent future embarrassments? Insiders suggest that this incident could prompt a complete overhaul of how the monarchy engages with foreign press going forward. Meanwhile, The View faces backlash from some viewers who felt the hosts crossed a line, while others applauded their bravery in asking what they felt the world wanted to know. In Britain, public support for the prince surged after footage of his calm, yet firm exit went viral, with many praising his refusal to tolerate perceived disrespect. One thing is clear: the divide between royal tradition and modern media sensationalism has never been more glaring. And the aftershocks of this heated clash will likely be felt in both the palace and the studios of The View for a very long time.